Today we are going to be discussing how to make mass entries into the Nike draw manually. Now, I talked about this in my last video, however, I have an update for this and I really think you guys are going to love it because not only is it much easier and time efficient, but it's also a lot cheaper because you don't have to pay for all the proxies. So essentially, I'll be walking you through this step by step. I'm going to make it so easy that your grandma could do it. I'll make it so easy that Uncle Gary could... You'll have to excuse me, I gotta take a cold shower. Before I start off with the step-by-step, I must explain the premise of this. So basically, this can only increase your chances of winning. I mean, it's a draw. It's a randomized process, so the more entries you have, the higher your chances of winning are. And by entries, I mean accounts. This works on any single draw. Of course, it could be Fear of God, it could be Off-White, it could be Jordans, and also, this works on Leo drops. However, you must note when it comes to Leo drops, there's only a 1 to 2 minute time window, so you want to get in as many accounts as possible. Anyway, moving on, let's start off with step 1. So the first step you're going to want to do is obtain the Nike sneakers account. Now you could do this two ways. You can make them or you could buy them. Personally, I think it's not too hard to make them and it's completely free. All you have to do is send a text message to one of your friends, use their phone number and say, hey man, would you mind sending over that verification code if possible? But of course, if you don't want to go through the hassle, that's understandable. I personally have also bought accounts from authentic accounts. I can guarantee you guys that they're legit, they actually work, and they stay verified forever. You don't have to ever buy new accounts. And no, this isn't a sponsored video. However, I do like to recommend to you guys what I personally use. I wouldn't want to recommend some garbage product. So yeah, you could feel free to use them. However, if you guys know any cheaper ones or other ones, please leave them in the comments. You know, it helps out the community. But anyway, after you've obtained the accounts, whether you made them or bought them, all you have to do now is make as many Google Chrome users as you have accounts. So for example, if I have 25 Nike sneakers accounts, I'm going to want to create 25 Chrome users. So right now, we're going to use the multiple People Jig portion of this video. If you guys want to skip this, that's fine, because I know a lot of you guys are experienced when it comes to this. So feel free to skip to this portion of the video if you've been watching me for a while and you know what this is. But anyway, for the rest of you who don't know what it is, basically, it's very simple. Here's all you have to do for making extra Chrome users. In Google Chrome, you go to the top right corner of your screen, you click on the little icon. After you do that, you click Manage People, add person, then you add a name, click a random profile picture, it doesn't really matter, you click save, then you just have to do this for, again, as many accounts as you have. Now, once you've completed this, now let's move on to the update. Now, before I talked about how you could use proxies to do this without getting IP banned. Now we're going to talk about how to do this completely free, so you don't have to use proxies. Now, I was extremely hesitant at first to mention this specifically because I've tried a bunch of these things before and they really haven't been working out. However, this one specifically was actually recommended to me by one of you guys. I believe his name was Sean, if I'm pronouncing that right. Otherwise, I do apologize for that, of course. But he specifically recommended UVPN before the drop for the SBs, and luckily there was enough time for me to test it out for the SB drop. And when I did test UVPN, I did encounter a few errors, which I'm going to mention how to get past them because it's really not too difficult. But most importantly, I was able to enter in every single account. I did not get IP banned because the whole reason we're doing this is when we make multiple entries on different accounts on the same IP address, we would get IP banned. This wouldn't be permanent or anything, but it would disqualify us from the draw, which would suck. This right here, though, this allows you to not get IP banned and continue with the draw while using just simply one computer. I actually put a written guide in the description of this video, and in that written guide, I have all the links for everything you need to do. I would suggest perusing it. Got all the necessary tools for you. I also added a frequently asked questions section, and we'll talk about that later. Anyway, once you click on the link in the written guide, it will take you to the Google Chrome extension, and then you basically just click add to Chrome, click OK, it will add it. Then in the top right corner where you see all the Chrome extensions, you click on this, then you want to select your country, make sure it is set for off for any, and basically to turn it on, all you have to do is click the on button. button. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Now, a couple of errors that I want to mention to you guys when using this VPN, which are pretty common. First of all, on some sites, you may get a CAPTCHA. That's completely fine. If you go to nike.com/launch and you see either of these two errors, all I want you guys to do is turn off the VPN, go to google.com and Google Nike Launch. Once you've Googled Nike Launch, once you see this link, before you click it, I want you guys to turn the VPN back on and then click the link. Now, once you do this, you should be able to access the site completely fine. Anyway, moving on to the next step. This step is basically just filling out your info on each individual Nike account. Yes, my friends, this is a rather tedious process, but of course, getting these shoes all depends on how much work you're willing to put in and how much time you're willing to put in, and this might be the most frustrating part. Of course, this isn't a necessity. You don't have to do this beforehand. You could do it last minute when you're entering, but I wouldn't suggest that because then you might risk not getting all of your accounts in if you're too slow. So I would suggest filling in your address and your credit card on each and every account before the drop occurs. And now I know a lot of you guys who might buy accounts might be wondering, Keith, if this is a random email, how the heck are we supposed to get the tracking information for our packages? That's a fantastic question. In fact, that's in the frequently asked questions portion of the guide that I wrote. Basically, all you have to do is click F3 on Mac, or if you're on Windows, click Windows and Tab, just like the multiple People Jig guys. If you click that, it shows you all of them at once. When you enter every draw, it'll show entered, like a little thing pops up. Don't X that out. You want to keep that up there. So this time, once you keep those up there and you hit the F3 button or the Windows and Tab button to show everything at once, you will see entered on every single one, and then comes the 10 minutes is up for the draw, or the 30 minutes if you're in Europe. They will begin changing from entered to got 'em, or most likely for the majority of them, it'll change to didn't get them. This makes it extremely efficient to check all of them, makes it less confusing, of course, and when you finally do see one that says got them, all you have to do is click on that one, then click on settings, find what email it is, then with that email, you're able to find what password coincides with it. They give you a spreadsheet when you buy the accounts. You just have to find the correlating password, take both of those, and sign in on the app, the Nike Sneakers app. Now, once you're on the Nike Sneakers app, go to the bottom and you'll see a little thing called Inbox. Once you click Inbox, you will see all tracking updates and order updates without even having to sign into your email. Now, I must also tell you guys, if for some reason Nike does happen to block all the servers from UVPN, which I think is extremely unlikely, but just as a hypothetical, I'd like to give you guys a backup plan, and that's essentially what I mentioned in the last video, using the proxy extension. Of course, you're going to have to pay for the proxies, unfortunately, but you know, in the long run, it's probably still going to be worth it. Even though sometimes you might take L's, I think that small investment is worth it. All you got to do is plug in the proxy to the IP section, and at the end of the proxy, you'll see the port. When you buy proxies, they usually email you what the format should look like. Then you just have to separate the port. If you're wondering where you could buy proxies, I would recommend monthly proxies if there's a lot of hype drops. Good all-in-one monthly proxies would be from Cookie Proxies. It's honestly a really good price, and for all of my bot users out there, you could of course also use these for Shopify and foot sites. But if there's only one or two hype drops, you might not want to go that route. You might only want to buy the Nike sneakers proxies from authentic accounts. It's only going to come to around $13 or so for the day, but after that day, they're completely done, unlike the accounts, which last forever. Regarding all the extensions, regarding all the links for the products, I literally put every single thing inside of that written guide. I would suggest saving it or something like that. It's there to help you guys. But now with all of the setup out of the way, honestly, in total, this might take you around 25 minutes to 35 minutes to set up. I think it's a completely worth it process. But now, once the drop actually comes, all you have to do is do as I said, enter in all of your accounts, and again, when you see the entered thing come up, don't X that out, leave it up there because it's going to make it a lot easier to check which accounts won. That's just a small tip. And also, just a side note, like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to let everyone order drops, the Leo drops, you want to be extremely fast because you're not going to be able to get in every single account, considering it's only a 2-minute time window. In that case, whoever is the fastest will win. So of course, we got a lot of experimenting to do. We're going to see how this goes, and of course, if anything changes, if I find anything new, I'll be sure to update you guys. Feel free to turn on post notifications and subscribe, but of course, whatever floats your boat, it's up to you guys. But anyway, with that conclusion out of the way, let's move on to some frequently asked questions. First of all, regarding the credit cards, can you use the same credit card more than once? I get this question a ton. Luckily, yes, you can. However, you don't want to overdo it. The limit that I put on it is 3. If you do any more than that, you are risking getting your credit card blacklisted. So, of course, to make new credit cards, a simple service would be the Token app for US. You do have to be 18 years or older, so all my 17-year-old viewers, make sure you contact a parent or guardian, ask them to use their information. And also, if you screw up your info like I did initially, your account has to be reviewed. If you do get the message where you get locked out, don't wait. Make sure you email them immediately because they took forever to verify my account. And then when it comes to Europe, guys, use Revolut. That's essentially the equivalent to privacy.com, but I don't recommend privacy for Nike sneakers. Some people say it works. I don't think that the orders actually go through because there's no name on the card. But if you still want to use privacy, of course, feel free. It's all up to you guys. I just recommend Token as a substitute because it's another free thing. There's no difference and there's no risk at that point. The next question is, should I change my address at all? When it comes to Nike sneakers, this is one of the few sites, unlike a Shopify site. When it comes to Nike sneakers, unlike most other platforms, you actually don't have to change your address. However, it doesn't hurt to do so because you never know with Nike. You might want to do it just to be safe. All you have to do is add 5 random letters to the beginning of your address. For example, if my address is 123 Maple Street, you could add A, B, C, D, E. That's it. Just add a space and then your 123 Maple Street. It's extremely simple. And then regarding the next questions, we already covered the VPN errors a little earlier that you might be experiencing because you'll probably see that. And then we also covered how to track your package because a lot of you guys probably might be buying your accounts. If you guys missed anything, feel free to rewind the video. The video's out there, the written guide's out there. Feel free to share it with a friend, help them out. Nothing's necessary though. If you guys want though, if you did happen to learn something or you just enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like on the video or subscribe and turn on post notifications to stay 100% updated on this, but more importantly, all hyped shoes. With that, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And of course, good luck on these upcoming releases.
Why are you always in my way, knocking me over every single day? Get your foot off my foot, Get your foot off my foot, I should have run the other way. Now there's just one thing to say. Get your foot off my foot, Get your foot